said, hey man, are you where you want to be in life? I said, no man, I got laid off. He said, why do you answer the phone? I said, man, I'm just not a morning person.
It will stop you from flight. It will stop you in your tracks. If you believe in something, metaphorically speaking, gravity will hold you down, it will hold you back, and it will dare you to fight. So you don't have to wonder about this. You'll know what they are. Step 4, get yourself to feel reassured by remembering times when you've dealt with this in the past. Have you ever felt a little bit down before, or what used to call depressed? How many?
There's a quote attributed to Seneca that states, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Meaning it's in pursuing the difficult thing that we obtain meaning, recognition that we prove ourselves, but prove ourselves to whom? This is the same Seneca who famously stated that we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality.
He said, you're not a morning person. He says the greatest part of the day. He said, you should get up every morning and thank God Almighty that he woke you up this morning and you got the nerve to lay there and be grumpy. He said, man, I thought you were better than that. And he hung that phone up. Boy, let me tell you something. That bothered me all day long. Because I don't like no man thinking I ain't nothing. It just bugs me to think that there's a man that thinks less of me. So the next morning at 4:30, I'm sitting up on the edge of my bed, I'm waiting. You call me, I swear to God, if you call me at 5 o'clock, that phone rang.
Your perspective can either be your prison or your plane. I don't know about you, but today I made the decision to defy the laws of gravity. The first successful heavier-than-air powered aircraft was designed and built by the Wright brothers. They flew it 4 times on December 17, 1903, near Kill Devil Hills, about 4 miles. I believe possibility is destiny, and it is fear that keeps us arrested and apprehended.
I said, hello, who's this? He said, it's John Walker. I said, it's Steve Harvey, man. I'm having a great day, man. This is the best day of my life, man. He said, that a boy, Steve, have a great day. I said, you make yours a great day. Click and hung up. Every morning he called me at 5 o'clock for 30 days in a row after that, and I didn't give a damn. Every time he called me, I was Captain Happy. I did not know, but God was preparing me for something. That was happening when I was 21. 20 years ago, after I had been waking up bubbly, God gave me the biggest radio show in the United States. I have the #1 adult contemporary radio show. I talk to 9 million people, and you know what I do? I wake them up in the morning.
By the spirit of impossibility. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and nobody else is gonna tell you this. Impossible is a spirit, and you've got to arrest that spirit or it will arrest you. Impossibility is like a soda fountain, the easy way out, the path of least resistance, because to say something is impossible, to give up, to cop out, to fill your cup of carbonated excuses. It tastes good, but it doesn't sit well as it goes down into your system. To remove the 2 letters is the grit of existence, the binding faith of hope to your chest and letting your heart beat. You gotta rewrite the code, you gotta rewrite the script. Calling all reformers, I'm calling all innovators, I'm calling all game changers, I'm calling all world shakers, I'm calling all city shifters, I'm calling everybody that has an inkling of faith in themselves. I'm calling everybody
who has power over himself. And that's one of the beautiful things about Stoicism. It makes us ask a very simple but often overlooked question: who's really the adversary here? Who's the opposition we're dealing with as we fight our battles? What is it that must be transformed? Is it the outside world, or the way our eyes view the outside world? What's really holding us back with the circumstances for our own personal thoughts about the circumstances? And I think this is where we misunderstand the challenges before us.
How many have dealt with it? Let me see your hands. Great. If you remember that, 2 things happen. You're going to feel reassured you can deal with it, plus you're going to remember how you did it, which means you can use what you did in the past to change it right now. Why wait? Most of us forget the best parts of our past, which is how we dealt with things and turned them around. We just remember the negative feelings. That's kind of weird. Maybe we need to manage our memories better. Remember the things that have resources for us and forget the things that don't.
Because whatever people have their identity attached to, they live. We live who we believe we are. That's just how it works. It's just kind of like, I'll give you an example. Look at your physical body. Your physical body today is an absolute reflection of only one thing, not your goals, not your desires, but your standards.
But you got to stand on it and you have to believe it. There is a version of all of us. There is something that is unique about all of us. We are constantly evolving as human beings. We cannot remain the same. We cannot stay in the same box. We have got to understand, just like a caterpillar that goes into a cocoon, sooner or later it becomes a butterfly, but you never see that butterfly go back to being a caterpillar. It never gets back on its belly again. So what do? You may be moving slow, but you're moving. You may be crawling on the ground, but you're still moving. You may be walking, but you're still moving.
I want to delve into this power of perspective to explain that we are the gatekeepers between ourselves and our ideal lives. And very often we do a good job of ensuring that gate stays closed. We sabotage our own goals, our own dreams, our own happiness, while simultaneously pointing the finger at a million externalities. See, when we look at the difficulties of life, and there's no doubt that life can be a very difficult thing, it's easy to look at the world as this binary playing field, right me versus the world.
The identity you have for yourself. If your standard is you're an athlete, then there's a certain amount of strength, a muscle tone, and energy that's available in your body on a regular basis because that's who you are. And so you do whatever's necessary to maintain that identity. Again, the strongest force in the human personality is this need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. Because if you don't know who you are, you would not. Once you lock in on that identity, your brain finds a way to keep you there. If you say, man, I'm overweight, I've always been overweight, I'm big boned, and that's the story you got, then you're gonna always find a way to get back there. That's your settling point. That's your identity. That's where things lock in.
Number 5, get certain that you can handle anything like this in the future.
And this is the time and the hour you need to understand that this is a good thing. So yes, these challenges are there for us. Yes, this may be some troubling times for not just me, not just you, but the entire world. But yet we are standing. Yet we are above the ground. And yes, there have been people that may have lost their lives. They have passed on and they are gone. They have transitioned into another place, another universe. But yet you're here. We're still standing and we have to continue to go on. We must respect the process. We must trust the process and not fall to just fear, not fall to doubt, not fall to anxiety and letting it take control of us.
We often visualize the world as the enemy pushing back against us as if its motives were counter to ours. So many of these narratives, these stories, they actually say nothing about the outside world, and when we look deeper, it becomes apparent that they actually say a whole lot more about us. It's the one viewing that gets to decipher what the circumstance means. And so all narratives are reflections of the observers. Please do watch our other motivation videos on the screen now. Thank you.